So when I started A Year of Dating Me, I started with making my own nail polish back in 2017, January 2017. And I thought, oh my gosh, people make their own nail polish. I found out about these independent nail polish brands. And I thought, I want to do that. And I did not exactly the way they did, but I did eventually buy the suspension and pigments and all of that and glitters and stuff. And I did make my own for my book club and ended up giving those away for the book club. But then in February, I was like, oh, I'm going to do glass blowing because I saw it on Groupon. And that's where I first started getting ideas of different things to do was Groupon. Plus they were, discounted. I'm like, I didn't even know I could do glass blowing. So I decided to do that. I'm like, that's my February adventure. Well, I went to call them to go make an appointment to go, and they were booked through May. So I was like, oh. So I quickly had to come up with something new in February to do. And on Groupon again, I found pole dancing. So I did that. And then, comes March and then April, and I almost ran out of time. So that's when I decided I needed to get a planner and start making a plan of what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it. And I did the rest of the year items that I wanted to accomplish. And actually back in the early 2000s, probably 2010, I made a list. This was before I even knew the bucket list. I read a book called 20 Wishes by Debbie Macomber. And I thought, that's what I want to do. So I wanted to list 20 things that I wanted to do in my lifetime. Well, I did a few of them. One was skinny dipping. And I thought, I'm going to record this, take photos and make a little scrapbook, to get this. Of course, I'm not going to take a picture of me skinny dipping. What I did is I took a picture of my wet suit up on the side of the pool. And I took a picture of that and put that in there. So I knew that was skinny dipping. Of course, we had a little hiccup with that. It was the neighbor's pool and I was house sitting for them. So it wasn't like the neighbors were there, but they had a cactus because I live in Arizona. So they had a cactus that had very, very fine needles. And they were in a layer on the pool, although I didn't know they were needles. I didn't know anything about that. So I'm in the pool, I'm swimming around, take off my suit, just swimming, pushing these needles out of the way, flipping around, doing all kinds of stuff. Well, come later in the evening, and I have on all my clothes, and I'm like, this is uncomfortable. This doesn't feel good. It turns out I had hundreds of these little tiny needles all over. Yes, all over. And I had to get duct tape and try and get it from my skin. I slathered on Elmer's glue because I had read that and I was like peel it up, and that did help, but it took forever to get my entire body to get all of those little needles out. So sometimes things turn out the way you want them to, sometimes they don't. And to be honest, I haven't ever gone skinny dipping since then, but also I don't own my own pool. So that's when I decided to make a plan, like, hey, let's plan out the items that we want to do. Now, some items that are on my list is like, I want to visit a vineyard in Florence, Italy. Okay, I don't make enough money to fly to Florence and to spend time there. But you know what? That's a goal I'm saving towards. I may only have, $300 saved right now, but eventually I'll get there. And that's part of my goals. Every month I write down, okay, I want to save, $20 to, this month to go to my Florence, Italy plan. And, everyone has different places where they are in life, different things that are considered an adventure to them. I have two cousins. Well, I have more than that, but two in particular. One, she has agoraphobia, and so she has a hard time leaving the house and socializing. So for her, a big adventure that she does is she will walk down the street to the coffee shop, and she will make herself sit there and drink a coffee and then walk home. Now that's a huge accomplishment for her. I have another cousin who's gone skydiving several times, and she loves it, and that's a huge adventure for her. I'm somewhere in between I can't get out of the house and, a skydiving adrenaline junkie. But you know what? It's okay. We all have different places we are in our lives and different things we want to do. So let me show you how I plan some of the items that I want to do. I usually list out first all the different things that I want to accomplish in my year of dating me, different adventures that I want to go on or dates. And then I plan them out in my planner of when I want to do them, what I have free, and I treat that like a commitment. I have a commitment to myself to actually do this, save money for things. I've gotten so much better in my financial planning. My finances are very healthy. Everything has happened because I started a year of dating me. My health is better. My finances are better. I'm more social. I feel better about myself. I'm more outgoing. My life completely changed, and yours can too. So let's start planning, and we'll go over some of the things that we do. Thanks. I like to get my planner and start marking things that I want to do. I'm already planning for November. And by the way, all these cute little designs here for my planner, I got this from JordanBudgets.com. She's got these really cute little designs, and they're just little stickers you put on, and you can have it for whichever month you want. I already know that on Saturday the 5th, I'm doing a happy hour with some friends of mine. I also know that I want to do my November dating me on the 19th. And I have a book club engagement on the 30th. I decided to use my orange pen since it's November, and Thanksgiving is coming up. I also decided, marked my brother's birthday, but so some monthly goals I want to save for Italy. I want to add $50 for my November date. I want to have meals prepped at least 3 times a week. Meals for 3 days a week. So I know if I'm going to be doing meal prep, I'll fill these in. I'm going to want to have my groceries purchased at least by Saturday so I can start my meal prep on Sunday. And that way I have food for the different days that I already want prepped. I go into the office on these days, so I use the cute little cars. I just like to start having things out. And then as I go through the month, I can see, where do I need to make some tweaks? Is the meal prep working on Sunday? Do I need to change it to a different day? How busy am I during the week that I need to change something around? I like to add other goals besides this, but I add them sometimes throughout the month. Sometimes I have them all at the beginning of the month. And then towards the end of the month, I like to take stock of what I really excelled at, and what are some things that maybe I need to make some tweaks. Maybe meal prepping for 3 meals for the week is a little too much, or maybe it's not enough and I need to prep for 5 days. We just make the tweaks when you see how things are going. Another thing that I did was I decided to start writing down some of the things that I would like to do for my dates. My brother lives in upstate New York, and he has friends who own a vineyard, and they have a grape harvest in September and have a big spread. And so I would like to join that sometime. I'm not saying it'll be, this next year in 2023, but I'd like to. One of my goals is to see a waterfall in every state. So since I live in Arizona, Chocolate Falls is one of the best there is around, and I would really like to go see that at some point. I'd like to take a flower arranging class. I'd like to catch a snowflake on my tongue. I know that sounds crazy to some of you, but I live in a state where there's not a lot of snow where I live, so it rarely snows here. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to see Three Rivers Stadium. My niece is getting married in Pittsburgh in June next year, so that's a good chance that'll be my June date. I'd like to learn to make candy, and specifically chocolate candy. So I'm going to look for a place that has classes for that so I can do that. These are just a few things that I'm starting to outline and thinking of for my dates. And that's something you might want to do, is think about things that you want to do. I mean, maybe you want to, like I did, skinny dip. Maybe you want to, take a cooking class. There's all different kinds of things that you can do, but just start thinking of things that you haven't done before that you would like to do, because that's how I started. I wanted to do something I'd never done before. And then I would suggest starting to plan things out on your planner so that you have things here available and okay, I'm working towards different things, and your date doesn't come to the end of the month and then it just escapes you and you don't have a date set up. And like I said, I learned that in April, because it was April 30th when I finally did something and I was scrambling. So I like to have things planned out a little bit. It's a little bit easier, a little less stressful, and it lets me know, hey, you know what? I do have some plans. I have things I'm doing. My life is moving forward. So just come join me and try doing a little bit of planning, a little bit of prep work, and set some goals and see where you end up at.